Let's see if we're working now. Yup, we back in. We back. We back. We back. We're back. We're back. We're back. We're back. I had some issues last time with the microphone. I didn't realize that I was connected to. I didn't know that a webcam had the microphone. So it was activated off of the webcam being an external microphone, but it should be sounding better now. What's been going on, Alex? Oh man. I won't bore y'all today too much with all too much talking unless something come to mind. I'm gonna go get straight into the game. Hell yeah, man. It's good to hear. Last time it was like echoing and shit and all staticky in the background. I'm like, what the hell is going on? Oh, the webcam. I didn't know that. That's pretty dope. That's pretty dope. Interesting thing is I didn't even use it like that the whole time I've been streaming. I mean, I've been streaming for months now. You didn't really do it until the last stream I did. Like I said, when I don't stream on OBS for a while and then I get back on it, it usually starts acting weird, you know. But that's good. It sounded better. Yeah, I figured you were just getting off work or at least either clocking out or probably still at work. That's a long shift, man. And you've been there since two o'clock, right? Y'all know. Interestingly enough, I think tomorrow it will literally mark the 13th anniversary of when I put this review out. Let me see. I put Scorpion King out. That was season 2. 13 years ago. So it was already out. I put it out. Yeah, I was thinking it was either today or tomorrow. It was yesterday. Damn, that's crazy. I can't believe it's been out that long. That shit got 13,000 views. That's pretty fucking good, man. And that's all organic views. I'm like, I didn't boost those views up. I boosted up the views like about 5,000. I remember on Bad Boys Miami Takedown, but I didn't boost none of the views on this. Is Scarface. This I think is my second highest video. This is pretty cool. 111 likes. That's what's up. Oh man, I don't think I ever want that doofus cake again. It's like if I'm gonna take that, I might as well go on and be in a coma or something after that. I remember that doofus cake was so potent that next day I remember I was standing up taking a piss and I still was like kind of lightheaded. I'm like, bro, I haven't felt like this high in a long, long time. And I think I had only been smoking for like a year at that point. But that I was high literally for like 2 days straight. Like, like just my whole bloodstream felt like it was full of THC. Thank God I didn't try to get a job at that time. That shit, I'll never forget the doofus cake. doofus. That shit was funny when I was telling y'all that shit about just kind of looking down memory lane when I was telling y'all about when I right before I had made the quarterback club review, like I guess the behind the scenes of the making of the quarterback club review. It's pretty funny, honestly, when I think about it. Because that's literally what happened right before I started putting out videos. Like, everything I was explaining is exactly what happened, man. And then, like I said, I feel like I should just continue that story on. I mean, we could do that as I'm playing the game, obviously. But I feel like more people are going to join the stream a little bit later. I noticed during the week, at nighttime, more people join. So maybe somebody will probably get in and comment and add their 2 cents in on it. But I mean, Alex and Dan, y'all already know for the most part. Yeah, but quarterback club, that was a real interesting time right before I made that shit though. Like I said, you know, it wasn't really meant to be like the way I had put it out, obviously, but like I said, I had just wanted to get that stuff out there so bad at the time. I'm thinking, damn, in a couple of so April, it seemed like April was a crazy month, man, because April was the month I did quarterback club and Scorpion King. So yeah, the 24th, I never forget that. That's what next week. That'll be the anniversary of quarterback club, and then the anniversary of Scorpion King was yesterday. So damn, that's crazy. Yeah, quarterback club was just raw and and just organic. That's what was so funny about it, because I made so many organic mistakes in the review, yet it still turned out to be what I had wanted it to be. So it was kind of funny how that review turned out, because I made a mistake making it, but it still turned out exactly the way I wanted it to be. I did. I'm not gonna lie. Quarterback club was a pain in the ass to make at the time. Looking back on it, but it was funny as hell once it came out. And like I said, just when I was telling y'all all that stuff that was going on in my personal life at that time, with the shit with Rashad and hurry up. Hey, bro, you take it too long. You know what I'm saying? You need to probably hurry up, use the nugget scoop and all. I was dealing with all that, like that. That really had played a role into this content, man. I'm gonna be honest, y'all. It really did. And like I said, when I got fired and I went into that summer and was able to make the other reviews and stuff, I just was trying to get better and better at it. Like I said, didn't really know what I was quite doing, but yeah, damn sure did. Like, yeah, that shit is what led to it. But it did, man. I just wish, looking back on it, I had actually been working a job though that year in 2010. Cause I swear to God, y'all, like, had I actually been working, I would have had made way more reviews. They would have been way, crisper. Like, it would have been, well, they were consistent at that time, but I just would have done more like better reviews at the time, man. And like I said, that shit did kind of mess me up. But I mean, looking back on it, it's like it was my fault. I mean, like I said, I shouldn't have taken that shit so personal when she came back there and said that. Should have taken it so personal. Good thing I can say is I ain't been fired from a job since that happened. Well, actually, I had. I mean, but I don't really count getting, fired from a contract, getting fired from a job. Hopefully, the frame rate on this shit is going to be good, because it's going all over the place. I had just stopped the stream and then rejoined because the frame rate was kind of acting weird, but let's hope it played well this time. It was well the last stream. I mean, I had to reboot my computer and run it all. and run a scan on it. So hopefully it should be better. Let's see. Uh-oh, the movements are kind of slow. Oh man. Damn. This shit sucks. It's weird how it's doing this now, man. It wasn't doing this before. Yeah, it's like severely dropping in frame rates. Let me see something real quick. Shit is acting weird, man. What the fuck? Um, let's see. I might have to change the frame rate or something on here because that shit is acting weird. Interface settings, no. Oh yeah, we don't want to toggle the frame rate. Maybe if I just put it down. No, I don't know. It is the same graphics ancient Egypt used. Yeah, these graphics are the most core basic structures like for a video game. Damn, this is some bullshit, man. The frame rate's acting up. Hold on, real quick. Yeah, it's just slow regardless. It ain't even because I'm live. I'm just trying to get this shit right with the frame rate, man. This suit's fucking slow. All right, let's see. I lowered the frame rate. Let's hopefully this works. Yeah, it's gotta run at 60 FPS. Damn. Okay. Yeah, I believe that 100%. Funny thing is I don't remember having any other issues. You said, can I run it at 1080? Yeah, I might need to lower the resolution. Let me try that. Yeah, since 720, it should be fine. By linear. Yeah, everything's fine display wise. Everything should be okay. That end. Yeah. Okay, it's running better now. Ooh. Damn. Damn, yeah, this shit would not run at 60 FPS. Might have to just play something else for right now. It's just not having its day. You know what? That's probably what we should do. We should critique some. Oh shit. Should critique some of my old videos for right now. I ain't did that in a long time. Let me see if I can run another PS2 game over here and see what it do. I just want to see. It says recommended by oh, it dropped on here. Oh yeah, it's just acting out today. I don't know. It's weird. It giving me the chance to do it. Oh well. Guess we're gonna switch it up. It's time for the commercial break. It's like, I guess we'll stay tuned. Well, we'll be right back, folks. In the meantime, since we were talking about that quarterback club review, you got me thinking about it. Shit was funny as hell. It's the window catcher. Oh, what the hell was that? Hearing noises and shit in my duplex. Is like you be hearing all kind of weird shit in here. I'm live watching myself go live. Hell nah. Now I get to entertain myself. Like you do the entertaining now, Crosswire. From all the years of free entertainment. Man, all these damn videos I did. Look at this shit. Page Master 14 years ago. Shout out to that boy Donovan Bird. Like I said, that was my early subscriber, man. I always feature that, man. Always, if I ever become a millionaire, I make sure that I look out for him, because this man literally was the very first subscriber I remember I had on this YouTube channel, and that's how I know this is early, because that's when he was making his reviews, and I remember yeah, that's when, if you featured somebody on your channel, they would show like their videos and stuff like that on their channel. So if you went to my channel and he was featured on mine, you would see like his recent video that was gonna pop up or whatever. So it would allow you to see like what content those people were coming out with. So I remember, like, yeah, if you were featured on somebody's channel, that was big back in the day. I just remembered that. It don't really mean shit now, but back then, yeah, if you were featured on somebody's channel, that means everybody was able to keep up and stay active with whatever content you had coming out. I remember this stuff. My little shorts. Man, all these videos, dog. Like I said, I didn't even have facial hair back then. Yeah, man. See, but I remember. Hold on. I remember, remember when I told y'all whenever I used to make the videos, like, you could see everything that I was talking about. Like, if you like I said, when you pause it, you could see everything I was saying. You could see the flash of the camera. You could damn near see me holding the script. You know what I'm saying? Like, you could see goddamn, it looked like I filmed that during the day, because I remember I always had to film during the day to get like sunlight in the room, because I didn't have any like external lights. And if I filmed during the day, I would use like the flash from like the sunlight, because it would sometimes flash too bright. And I remember at moments like this, if you paused it well, you would see you could see me you could see me sitting there holding the script, fucking playing the game. Like I said, I'm reading. You can see me right there reading the script. It's in my hand, and I'm goddamn holding the controller. I don't know how I did all this shit simultaneously, bro. It's like, goddamn, like, this is fucking crazy. Like, when I really think about it. But I remember when I told y'all, like, if you saw and paused it at some points, You could see me like literally holding the script. I got that damn dirty ass do rag I used to wear. I remember, man. Those do rags, man. Them, I don't care what nobody say. If you grew up in the 2000s, them do rags was the shit. Like that, thanks to that boy Hot Sauce from all the AM1 mixtapes. I was still killing that in 2010. I was still rocking the do rag, and I had dreads at that time. Yeah, that's funny as hell. I had my memorabilia and stuff. I remember from when I was in middle school. That's funny as hell. I remember this. Hold on, y'all. Hold on. I remember these goddamn black lines, bro. This shit used to piss me. Hold on. The fucking black lines, I remember that shit used to piss me off because this was before I had a DVD recorder. So I couldn't just record straight on the TV. And I remember I used to think that shit was like fucking wizardry or magic or something that I was seeing everybody do. Because I used to wonder before the emulator and shit like that, like how the hell do you get footage of you playing the game without using a video camera? Because I thought you supposed to put the video camera somewhere. I used to thought I thought you literally had to have a specific camera that did that. I had no idea that it was a DVD recorder and you use that to record your footage and then you extract that onto the the laptop, but you had to use a converter to do that. Man, like I said, all this stuff was wizardry to me back then. I didn't know about like really how to do that until like a year after this video, but at this time I remember this was all I knew was how to point that goddamn camera at the TV, and that black shit would always show up. And what was crazy is when I would look at the camera on the LCD screen, you wouldn't see shit. You know what I'm saying? It'll be looking clear as fuck. But as soon as you import the video file on the editing software, it would all of a sudden have that shit there, and I could never figure out a way. I'm talking about I'm doing all kind of shit using all kind of contrast and goddamn and brightness and adjustments and stuff and gamma adjustments and all that, and that shit is not working. It's like I could not get that shit out of there. And I remember, man, this right here was like this was my biggest enemy. I remember early in my reviews, man. This black shit. This was my biggest enemy, I remember. I got the camera all zoomed in too far. God damn, man. Damn, it's crazy looking back on this, man. Hold on, y'all. Oh, shit. Right, yeah, they got the spurts. I remember that. Can y'all see? Hold on. Yeah, there we go. I remember here it is. I said the pick maneuvers are ass. And then they go that I formation play. I remember this. Yeah, it was offensive pass interference. Oh man, like the vision y'all got on the YouTube compared to what I got on my laptop is different. Y'all shit look like exactly how the TV used to look. I got caught up in my own damn script. I didn't even know what to say at that point. That's what it was. It was the shotgun play. It wasn't the I formation. The same play. And that boy Rob Thomas. Rob Thomas. I don't even know who he was in real life, but that dude was like the greatest wide receiver ever. Oh yeah, I remember the running plays were hard on there. Oh yeah, that was a bad snap. Ooh. Uh-oh, it's that boy Vic. Oh, I got lucky with that one. That's what I was saying, man. The game reviewing guys were looking after me or something, cause I swear I didn't anticipate none of this shit happening. Well, I should have hit Harris. It's funny I said that because honestly, it was no difference in the players. Like they all damn near played the same. Some teams I remember were better than others, but yeah, it's like as long as you controlled the player, I mean, you pretty much were. It was dependent on how good you were at the game. That's funny. Polygram video. Yeah, I remember at this point, I just had a feeling it was gonna happen. I remember it's like every time it was a kickoff, somebody got injured. But man, it was perfect how this shit happened. Oh my god. Yeah, hold on. What did that shit say? That shit say Buccaneers 47 John Lynch has been injured on the play. Will be looked over by the team doctor. I mean, could you imagine when he had to complain about when he's on the sideline? I mean, what the hell could his injury have been? To be honest, like it's like, dude, you were just running. I always wondered that. Like, what the hell could you have actually been injured from? Like I said. Yeah, at that point, it was like, man, it didn't even matter. The review was already done. I had said the joke. It was it. Like, all that information shit didn't even matter. Oh, yeah, it did. I remember that. Hell no. Oh shit, V Deadbo, what's going on, man? Man, I ain't heard from you in a minute, man. I hope you all right. Just sitting here. I was doing a little live stream with Scorpion King, but my frame rate's acting up on my emulator, so I decided to take it left and check out some of my old videos and kind of give my own perspective on them. This one I'll never forget, man. Man, I'll never forget this shit. Things don't even look the same like this today. Like they don't even goddamn. They don't even have like Speed Stick. I don't even think the Speed Stick logo even. They don't even sell that brand where it looked like that. Like the brand they have now is like it don't. They don't have that kind that look like that no more. And you can see I got the incense right there on the second row. That's the ones I remember they used to sell at Dollar General. I miss that brand. The Money House Blessings. If y'all zoom in real close. Yeah, I hear you, man. Hey, we all gotta work. I hope everything going well with that, cause shit, God knows how it is. It's hard. It's trying to keep a job. Yeah, I'm looking at some of this stuff. It's like, damn, they don't even have this anymore. Like, if y'all look real close, like, hold on, like, look right here. Hold on, right when this disappears. If you look real close, like right here, like this brand of incense, I remember they used to sell these at Dollar General. I remember they were called Money House Blessing. And those incense used to smell so good. I remember they had so many different varieties. Camille, they had vanilla, they had raspberry, like they had like a rainbow kind. They had like the best incense I remember, man. But you can't find them shits nowhere now. I don't care what store you go in, you cannot find them shits. And they used to be in assortments of like 40 for $1. And it was normal to just go into stores and get them shits back then. Well, this was 2011. That was normal to just go get them shits in the store. Now it's like, man, I'd probably kill to get them damn incense because you can't find them anywhere. So man, it's like just to even look at this, I feel like I just went back in time. It's like wow, like damn, I remember my room. Like my room was so small. It had the wooden panel walls. That house was built in like the 50s. We had first got that house, man. I remember just to give y'all a little backstory on that. When I first had to move to Statesboro, like I said, I had got the news. It was in April. I remember April of 2006. That's when we had to move from our house in Riverdale, and then my mom moved to Statesboro. And I remember when we first got down there. When did we see that house? I think it was when I had went down there with her the second time. Yeah, it was the first time we had actually first went to Statesboro because, like I said, I didn't know anything about this place. Like it just was somewhere I guess where Georgia Southern was, and it was miles and miles and miles away. That's all I knew. And we had first went down there. I remember that April, and I was just thinking in the back of my head, it's no way that she would want to move in this little hick fucking tobacco spitting town like this. Like I just was thinking like no way my mom wanted to do this. But of course she was going back to school, and this is me thinking in my 14-year-old mind that wasn't of course as advanced as I think now, and not knowing where things were going to be going in my future. But I remember thinking like, man, there's no way she would want to come down here. But I remember we came down there, and we were, my mom was looking for somewhere to stay because it was kind of at short notice when she had sold her house. And and she was enrolling in school that August of '06. So, things kind of had to move quick. And, we were trying to find really somewhere to live down there. And I remember, the first time we went down there, we had saw like this one house. I remember it was like in the middle of nowhere. I remember I was like, man, I just remember that house was in the middle of nowhere. I was like, God, please don't let us have to move in no shit like this. It was on the side of the road. I remember just like some country ass shit. And, just definitely nothing that y'all would have like got the enthusiasm from me to make reviews out of. So Just to this day, I thank God my mom didn't move in that house. But I remember it was that one, and then this one. I remember. I can't remember exactly when we saw it. All I just remember was when we did the walkthrough from it. That house was terrible, and I remember it was some college kids that were living in there. The vinyl in the kitchen was all ripped up in shit. The carpet was like old and dark and dingy. I remember. And I remember going inside that room and it had the wooden panel walls. And I said, this shit here look like it's from the goddamn 70s. Like, we might as well be damn part of the Brady Bunch and, fucking have long mustaches and tall bell bottoms if we gonna be in this goddamn house. Like, this shit old as hell. Like, I'm like my mom literally had a brand new house that goddamn, we had lived in that was in Riverdale that was brand new when we moved in. And so we went from that to this. So that shit was like a big shock. And I was not fucking with that. Oh yeah, man, they create all kind of stuff that's supposed to help with your diet and all that, but honestly, the best way, yeah, I mean, everybody's hereditary system is different as far as how you lose weight or whatnot, but yeah, I will admit, like, yeah, if you definitely want to cut back on weight and cut back on cravings, you better eat less sugar. I've noticed because everything damn near out here is made out of sugar, so you got to cut back on that for one. But I noticed once you kind of cut like sugar out of your diet more, you really do have less cravings for other stuff. Like now, I used to drink nothing but like sugary like sodas and sugary juices. I don't even be craving that stuff anymore since I switched it up. I'll just drink distilled water and grapefruit juice. And grapefruit juice is bitter as fuck. And I'm not gonna lie, it take a strong individual to keep drinking that. But once you get used to drinking it, I'm not gonna lie, you do feel a lot better. But yeah, but going back to the when we moved down here, yeah, I remember. Man, yeah, like this house. I remember we saw it. Luckily, it was right around the corner from the campus, and again, I thank God we ended up having this house. But at the time, I remember I was just like, oh no, no, no. I just was not. I just did not want to move in there, and I remember we did the walkthrough, and I remember, like I said, they had a dog in there, had a bunch of dog hair in there. I just remember that kitchen floor. I remember was that ripped up vinyl, and I was just like, oh no, it's no way we gonna move in here. Next thing you know, we moved in, man, and boy, I remember when we moved in that house, man. We had to clean that shit up because they didn't change out none of the carpet because we had to move in at short notice. So I think school started like literally 2 weeks before we moved in, and boy, I was so bitter when we had moved in there, man. Oh yeah, yeah. I think like when low carb, you really can't just force yourself to have certain diets. I think you literally just have to cut certain things out completely. It stick on a regimen, but yeah, low carb diet that's kind of hard to do. But man, shit. But yeah, my mom got this house though. Yeah, I remember. Like I said, yeah, I remember that house was so dirty, y'all. When we first got in there, again, it was a bunch of college kids that had lived in there prior to that. It was four of them. I remember it was a white girl that was in there, and it was like it was two white girls and two white guys, and they had a dog. And I just remember it was so much dog hair in there, and I remember it was so dirty with the fans and all that shit. Like it had so much dust build up on the baseboards and then on the ceilings and stuff like that. Older houses just seem to generate a lot of dust, but I remember that house was so dusty, and I remember having to clean it up. I just remember being so mad about being down there, man. Like I said, I didn't really get the feeling of actually accepting that okay, I'm living down here, and then just live with that. I didn't really even accept that until like probably 6 months after actually living there. But I remember shit we had ended up moving in this house, and like I said, I graduated high school and ended up moving back like a couple of years later. And then what I'm saying, that's when the little incident happened with the door, and goddamn, and yeah, man, that's when all that shit happened. Matter of fact, I guess now when I was telling y'all the story, I guess I'm about to give y'all a 3D tour of the whole shit now. so So I guess Alex, get ready for the story again. I mean, this is hilarious. I mean, I might as well get used to telling the damn story. But when I had woke up that morning and then, it was like, they were like, police, police, police come in and all that shit. I guess from this perspective, y'all can kind of see what they did. But I remember they had kind of like ransacked. I remember this little area right here. I remember they had ransacked that because they were thinking maybe I had like some weed or something like, tucked to the side here. The funny thing is, if it were now, I wouldn't even have no shit like that. I would just have that shit in a jar. Matter of fact, the dogs could probably still smell that. I would have been fucked that morning if I was smoking. But I remember they ransacked all this over here, and then they went through all this stuff over here. I remember. Thank God they didn't knock all my memorabilia because that was when I had graduated high school. That was 2 years prior at that time. So because all that stuff looked kind of new. I'm like, yeah, I don't even got any of this. I think I still got my diploma somewhere. But man, yeah, some of this memorabilia, this is kind of legendary. Remember, this was my grandma that passed. So the last time I had saw her was when she came down here for this. This was in '09. God damn. Yeah, it was funny. It got paid in full right there. It's funny. It's paid in full, literally right here. Hell no. What's up with that shit right there, y'all? Hold on, man. What the fuck? Literally, I'm not making this shit up. This is weird as hell right here, man. No lie, this is not scripted. This is not scripted. But guess what's sitting right here on my goddamn PlayStation 2? No other than paid in full. Randomly. I don't know why. But I seem to always watch that goddamn movie. This is not scripted. Paid in full. And then that ninja movie I was telling you about, I can't remember if I showed it the last time. This right here, I'm gonna rip that. That's the one I want us to watch. Ninja Killer. It's probably one of my favorite unknown movies of all time. That movie fire as hell. That needed to be sitting here right along Paid in Full. Paid in Full, I always thought was funny. It's a good movie though. All right, man. Damn, he said he got to go back to work. It's fucking 11 o'clock here on the East Coast. He must be somewhere out west. That boy said he had to go back to work. I'm like, God damn. Oh, okay. I'm about to say, all right, what side of the world are you on? Because you do sound like you from like the West Coast. Like you kind of got more of a West Coast accent. Oh, it's at 12. Okay, so you out east then. Yeah, I'm about to say, God damn. Yeah, y'all, man. Y'all boys out there grinding, man. I salute y'all for that. For real, for real. It ain't easy doing this stuff. Y'all could have easily been like Williams and goddamn. You were born in the West, but you live near DC. That's what I was thinking because you had a West Coast accent. I mean, y'all obviously know. You could tell I'm from down south. My accent's too thick. Can't help it. Been around too many ignorant people over my life. Like I said, like this situation here. This is the one that made me into who I am. It made the frustrated game review episodes that much better, honestly. I feel like. Yeah. Damn, man. Wow. No, it wasn't. If I could remember right, that was in 2011. That shit was just beginning. Shit. Yeah, everybody was out at that time, but boy, I remember those people were still coming by the house randomly. Like we would just be in the house minding our own business. Let me show y'all. I remember one day. Let me see where y'all can see my window. Boy, that house look old as hell, man. I'm just looking back on this, like, damn. And I mean, I live in some old shit now, but still, man, this seems so long ago, bro. But if y'all can see where my window was, man, I remember like at random times, it was a palm tree right outside my window. And I remember at random times, I would just look out there and you see a car parked there, like a randomly, unmarked car. And I'm like, in this spot, where it would be parked, it's like a main street almost like in the neighborhood. So usually a car wouldn't be parked right there. It would be parked inside like somebody's driveway or maybe in somebody's yard or something like that. It was no HOA over there. So nobody was coming by your house trying to give you a citation for having a car parked in the yard and stuff like that. So we would always have our cars parked in the yard like y'all gonna see later on. But I remember like you would randomly see these cars just parked like in our yard, nearby or something like that. They would be there for a few hours and then they'll be gone. And then at one time I actually had seen, a marked police vehicle. It had was just parked right there in front of our house and then they would be gone. That shit used to be so weird, I remember. Like right after it happened. That was the weirdest shit. But like besides the fact that, obviously they had violated and came in, our house like that, but just afterwards, I remember like just being watched like that. Weirdest shit ever. Weirdest shit ever. But I was talking about that. It wasn't over. No, it actually had just begun at that time. Because if I can remember right, that's when we started finding out, oh, this person gonna get 5 years probation, and then oh man, this person's banned from Statesboro, and we didn't know that. We would, like I said, it was all proceeding, but it started then, and it was what April of 2011. Once again in April. It's crazy. It's just crazy because I'm sitting here talking about this shit like he was selling fentanyl or what I'm saying, like this man was Nino Brown or fucking Tony Montana or he fucking Ace from Paid in Full and got all these apartments and what I'm saying, and stash houses full of coke and and Statesboro just so happened to be one of his. This dude was literally selling less than a pound of weed, like shit that y'all literally have seen me smoke damn near every stream. Dude used to be so stingy with the shit that he used to sell. Like he used to cap so hard. Like bruh wasn't really, like I said, like nobody who really even had an abundance of weed to even sell. And like I said, basically, somebody who's just doing this shit for Michael Jordan tennis shoes and fucking polo shirts and motherfucking Jabot jeans and shit. Like nothing really special. Them folks literally came in there like this dude was Ace off Paid in Full or Rico or somebody. Like I'm talking about full Call of Duty tactical gear and all this shit. And then it's like it was just literally over some fucking bullshit weed. So that shit just was funny as hell, and like looking back on it, but it's like damn. You talk about throwing, man. The dude, they kicked my stuff over. They didn't throw my stuff over. They were kicking my stuff. I remember because I remember as soon as they got in there, they were like, "Get on the ground." And right here, it's funny, like where y'all see the camera's face. That's where I had to lay down. I remember I was laying down face flat right there in front of my bookshelf with my DVDs and tapes and shit. Same DVDs and tapes. So again, shout out my DVDs and tapes because y'all done seen nigga go through a lot of shit over this life. So I mean, y'all done seen me grow up from a baby to that to goddamn this now, being in the duplex and my shit done had to be in storage, over the last couple of years. Like, so just a little shout out to my DVDs and tapes because that's my childhood right there. So as y'all see, that follow me, that's gonna follow me to the day I die. So it's crazy how even at this point in my life, negative shit was going on. That shit was right there to watch it. So that shit goddamn was made me. But I remember they told me to lay first face flat right there. And then as I was walking out the door, that's when I remember they just kicked all my shit over again with my clothes and all. Actually, that stuff wasn't there at the time. I was packing stuff up. But they were they were kicking all my games and like I said, all that stuff over. Luckily they didn't scratch anything up. They just were rummaging through it. You know what I mean? Like just trying to see, if he got a little sack of weed that he done hid here, or let's see if we can find a grinder, you know what I'm saying, or some little blunt wraps or some type of paraphernalia. Just anything basically just, so they can say that, all right, Johnson, we got something on this nigger. Let's get him on, put him in cuffs, and let's go on and book him, boys. But they didn't have nothing on me at that time because I didn't do shit. I didn't drink. I didn't smoke. I didn't do nothing. And thank God I wasn't smoking weed at that time because I would have been in jail like the rest of them. And they probably would have given my ass the 5-year probation. They was trying to give that shit to everybody in that house. But the only reason they couldn't get me with nothing because I literally had nothing on me. I didn't have like nothing. I didn't have no bags, no bowl, you know what I'm saying? Like nothing. I didn't have even no scent of resin in my room. You know what I'm saying? So they couldn't get me that day. But like I said, it's a thank God that they didn't get me and I stayed because somebody would have probably rummaged through our house and stole everything that was in there. So y'all may have probably never even seen these tapes or games or, my camera shit would have gotten stolen. Everything would have been stolen. Because the way they do it is after they kick your shit in, they just leave that damn door open if it ain't nobody to come, you know what I mean? Like, take, I guess, some possession of the property or whatever. They usually just try to tell the realtor or whoever, but we weren't trying to we weren't trying to get them to know about it. So luckily I didn't go that day because again, like had that not happened, yeah, we would have probably had all our shit stolen. So shout out to me at that time for, I guess, not smoking weed, which is supposed to be breaking the law. That's what I was scared of, bro. Like I had just bought my PS3 a year prior to that. You know how much shit even with that PS3. I was supposed to use my graduation money to pay for that. Like as y'all see, I had graduated 2 years prior. At this point, I mean, I was basically still fresh out of high school. I was supposed to use my graduation money to buy a PS3, and I had literally just got it. I remember from my student refund, I want to say a couple of months prior to this. I had just got my PS3, I think. No, that was a year prior. I got it in 2009. This was 2011. Yeah, I had got it a year prior. Yeah, I was scared they were going to kick my shit over or they were going to trip over it or do something. I'm like, man, shit, I was hoping they weren't going to break that shit, but they damn sure did. They rummaged through a lot of my shit, and y'all will see later on like why they would have probably did it because all my shit was sitting right there on the floor. It wasn't like it was in like on a case or, on a bookshelf or something. I see my little rap folder. Oh my god. Let me just give y'all a little back history on this, man. When we were young, like growing up in my neighborhood, we used to, like I said, I grew up in the early 2000s, so you know what I'm saying. Like I grew up, we grew up listening to, Ludacris and Pastor Troy at that time, and of course Project Pat, and all of them. Like so, we used to make our own little mixtapes. And I think at that time I was getting back into that, and I may have been writing raps. I think at that time, so I pulled out the old school rap book. I mean that rap folder I had when I was like in fourth grade. I may have shown y'all this in the stream. I think I did, but like I said, I can't even recall which stream I may have shown it. But that's my old rap folder. I remember like they were talking about going back to like 2001. It's so damn old. Like on some of the pieces of paper, that shit done turned brown. I remember. But yeah, I remember that's how that's what that yellow folder is. I remember, and then funny enough, the top folder right there, that's the same neighborhood that me and Everyday Struggle ended up moving to. So shout out to that's when they were University Village. So shout out to them when they were University Village. But the Market 100 people now, I don't know about them. Yeah, that's how they did it. I remember when they came in. Matter of fact, let me show y'all. When they came, that's when they flung my door open. They were like, "Bro, 12." I mean, that's when Williams' brother, because Williams' room was right here where the mouse cursor is. That was Williams' room, and that was my brother's room. So we were all like adjacent to one another, and then it's my door. Um, we were all somewhat adjacent to one another. So like I said, when Williams' brother came, he was in the living room. He came, and I remember he had to have told Williams first because he was directly going to his room. And I just remember my door flung open like you see it now, and I just remember hearing 12, 12, 12, 12, 12, 12, 12, 12. And I literally was looking at him. His eyes was wide, like he was looking like damn Freakazoid. I remember because he had dreadlocks, so he was looking like damn Freakazoid. And I'm like, man, what the fuck is going on? I'm like, this can't be real. And I just sat there and froze. I remember, and they came, boom, like I said, and everybody get on the ground, all that stuff. And I remember I just was right here. The door was still wide open, flung right open. And I just remember, like I said, looking and seeing a bunch of like shadows right here. I'm right here with hold on. Right here, I remember this little wall right here. I just remember because again, when he came and said that, they had kicked the door open. I heard them when they did it too. I remember he said it, and then it was about maybe, it seemed like, man, it was like maybe a minute later. I ain't gonna lie. I remember I had kind of froze at that moment because I didn't know what to do. And I just remember, like I said, once I heard them do it because I heard them trying to do it. I heard, poof, poof, then they finally, poof, and they just breached the door. And then you just heard a bunch of, rummaging, like, just, scurrying, saying through the house and stuff, just footsteps. And I remember seeing a bunch of laser dots. I remember right here going towards Williams' room. And I saw some shadows right here and shit. And then that's when they had came and got us. I don't even know what this is on the wall. I didn't know we had a picture on the wall. My kitchen. This is my house. It's not like I live with my mom's. Look what they did to my door. They really ain't do it that bad. We could have fixed that. I ain't gonna lie to y'all, man. When I heard that shit, like when it first happened, it sounded so loud at the time. Dude, it literally sounded like a stampede. Like it sounded like it. Like I said, all I remember hearing was just imagine like if you go kick your door, you see like I say when they kick it, what they do. Just for future reference, like I said, since I'm a handyman, I can tell y'all how it works. Basically, if you ever wanted to get inside somebody's property, it's two screws. It's one right here, and it's one right there. If you could get those screws loose, then that'll release the this part right here, like where this bevel is, and then that'll cause the door to open. But basically, if and I don't even remember if we had our deadbolt locked that day. We had to because it split from where the top is. So I think we had our deadbolt locked. So but they kicked it in through the deadbolt part, and I guess when they did that, it split down. And it caused that little bevel part to just pop out. So that's how they were able to get through. But I remember when they did it, it sounded loud. I remember it sounded like I said, like they were trying to kick the door in. That's exactly how it sounded. So yeah, we had our deadbolt locked, and then like I said, we usually kept our shit locked. I mean, especially with knowing what Williams had going on. You know, it wasn't like when they came. You know, we were all shocked, like, "Oh my God, Williams! How could you?" Like, it wasn't like that was the case. Like, we knew what bruh had going on. In fact, everybody was in there was participating except Etcher and me, pretty much. So, you know what I'm saying? Like, niggas knew what Williams had going on. But yeah, like they probably had did it from the deadbolt because it looked like it split down, and then that bitch popped open. I remember. And that's how they got in.
Yes, when you start college, man, watch who the hell you live with because they can be your friends or whomever, but
We kept our house clean though. I mean, damn. You gotta admit, for somebody, I was what 19 at that time. For somebody to be 19 years old, and we were just really me and my brother that was living there. Then we kept our shit pretty clean. But boy, I remember it was a bitch moving all that stuff out of there, man. God damn. It seemed like it was a lot of shit we had to move out. This goddamn thing right here was heavy as fuck, I remember. And I remember me and my brother had to move that shit to the curb. We cause down there they'll come and get stuff like that. You don't even gotta worry about taking it, to a landfill or something. Like the dump, they like the city people, they'll just come and grab that shit. So I remember we got that motherfucker out and we had to put that shit straight to the curb. That and my boy Vic Damone Jr. If he's ever in the chat, this used to be his couch, I remember, and that motherfucker had to go too.
whether you put trust in them or not, so just always remember that shit. And just give y'all a glimpse of beautiful Georgia. For those of y'all who've never been, it's hot as fuck down here.
Damn,
You know, you better
Sprite.
see that.
Oh man, I miss my car.
Yeah.
Yeah, if y'all ever remember my yeah, I never showed too many pictures of it. I mean, shit, I could show it all day now, but that was my first car I bought. I was 17 when I bought that bitch. But this was our neighborhood. We had a nice little neighborhood, man. Like I said, it had palm trees there and stuff. Like it wasn't really nothing there, nobody there, but like professors, and it was some college students that lived there that had, had working, good working parents and stuff. Like, luckily me and my brother had. And they were fortunate enough to get a house over there. I remember we knew a guy that was from up here in Atlanta. He was from like North Atlanta. He had stayed down, I remember, on this street, this white guy. And I don't know if his parents, I'm pretty sure they rented that house for him. I doubt they owned it. But I remember he stayed right here on this street.
Beautiful Georgia.
Yeah, this was our shit, I remember. Dang. I actually kind of missed that little house, man.
It's my car right there. Yeah, it's hot as fuck out here.
Yeah, you could tell I ain't want to be out there too long.
Shit. I do more videos showing y'all shit that's here. This is in, really Georgia, you know what I'm saying? This is like the country part of Georgia, to be honest. This country is hell. Like, I'll show y'all the real Georgia when I get to Atlanta. And
Not really. I mean, Atlanta's overrated. Atlanta's overrated. I like it here, but I mean, it's so much, that's like overrated here. It's not. I actually appreciate that's why I wanted to move back to that little town, because I remember shit, man, that rent was only like $900 a month for that whole house.
show y'all my room. It's the last time you will see it. Now, I know a lot of y'all probably, when you see these videos, you probably like, what is all this shit that's on his wall? You know what I'm saying? Like, why do y'all want to shit on his wall? It's basically a lot of shit that I did over the years when I was in school. Different awards I got. In my preschool diploma right there and shit. Fucking
I remember I had that fan running there. If you live down there, man,
4 years.
in that damn town like that, there's one thing you gonna always hear is that damn you gonna see is shit rumbling. That's why it was so much dust build up down there. I remember now, because everybody kept their fan on because it used to be so fucking hot down there. That's why it was so much dust build up. Now I'm starting to remember. Dang, I can't believe like even something as small as that like come back to your memory. I ain't been down there so long.
When I was in Atlanta. And then, of Jorts jerseys. He got Jordan's last year jersey with the Wizards. Oh 02, oh 03
Yeah, I got
season.
that when he played his
Brandon
last
Ingram
year.
jersey
It's
with the
crazy.
Bucks. Oh 01, oh 02 season. Melo's rookie jersey with Denver. Jason Kidd's jersey, the 2002 2003 season. And I don't think y'all have ever seen this, but it's Tracy McGrady's jersey when he was with Orlando in the 02 03 season as well. And I got, different little CD, shit I
What I
got.
ain't talking about is that was my old damn, that was like my old progress report for when I was like in elementary school. Cause I remember they used to come like that. They used to come in those little pieces of paper. And you didn't get either A's or B's. Like you got either just a S or goddamn or a U. You know what I'm saying? I don't even know what the U meant if you passed or failed. But that was before you were getting A's and B's. Like motherfuckers then were getting S's and U's and I's. You know what I mean? Y'all remember that when you were getting like S's and U's and shit?
Nas's Illmatic CD, the little cover and shit.
Dang, that hold on, was that one?
And I got, different little CD, shit I got. Nas.
Damn, that's when I was in fourth grade because my mom a little young. Golly. Damn, I I was what 9 when I took that picture. I remember we were at Stonewall Tail, and that's when they had the all the teachers. The teachers had to take their pictures and stuff, and I did. I took a picture with my mom that day. Golly. Yeah, the way Tom is moves is crazy.
Illmatic CD, the little cover and shit.
Damn.
DL CD, cover and shit. And another jersey I got, John Lynch's jersey when he played with the Bucks the year they won the championship, Super Bowl. Sean Kemp's jersey with Seattle from 97, 98. And then little practice Bulls jersey. And then my basketball awards and shit. Dude named Kevin Ali, I had that. At the basketball camp here. When
Kevin
I
Ali.
shit.
Let me look him up because I do remember that guy. hold on, real quick, y'all. I just want to do a little bit of research. Because I do remember that guy. I remember he used to play for the Sixers during the 2001 finals. Kevin Ali is an American basketball coach and former player who was recently the interim coach for the Brooklyn Nets to the NBA. He's the former head coach of Connecticut UConn. Yeah, cause that was when I was in high school. Our basketball coach there I think he went to UConn with him. Yeah, I remember. Yeah, he played for the Philadelphia 76ers. I remember. He played. I remember during the Sixers. Yeah, when they had the finals, he was behind Iverson. I remember that dude barely used to get in the game. I remember that guy barely used to get in the game, but I remember he was behind Iverson. And I remember we saw him at that camp because he was talking about playing with him that year. So I guess the year that we saw him, that was 03. He was playing with the Milwaukee Bucks. Huh. Interesting.
And get to my games. I don't really have too many games right at this point. Let me get to my games though. It's my 64 collection right
What the
here.
hell is that?
And I
Man,
got
the fuck? Hold on real quick, y'all. I don't know how that shit just happened, but it's a damn moth just got in my room, and I literally got all my windows my windows closed, but I think the screen is open. Damn. It just be weird when you sitting in a room alone and you see something moving.
NBA Live 2000, Perfect Dark, won the best fucking games. Like a lot of people try to say that this tried to be like GoldenEye or whatever, but to me this shit is way better than GoldenEye. Like this shit was like one of the best fucking games was 64.
It really was. That was my shit.
Of course, y'all already know what that is. Cruising World
Man, what the
arcade
fuck?
game, also on the 64. Diddy Kong Racing, great game, came out in 97. I think it was the same company. Yeah, was it? Yeah, I believe it was the same company as people that published Perfect War. WCW, AWO, Revenge. Also had WrestleMania. I don't know what happened to it. Armament Sergeant Heroes. Ready to Rumble Boxing, the first one. Resident Evil 2. Got like three versions of that shit. NBA Live 99. Kobe Bryant's NBA Courtside. And of course, GoldenEye. One of the best fucking games that you could possibly have on your fucking
Yeah, didn't I kill like a water bug one stream that had just interrupted?
which is
Like,
like
what
the
the
best
hell?
basketball game of Nintendo is NBA in the Zone 2000, which is like one of the best basketball games
Yeah,
they
that
ever
game
made
was
in
okay.
those. Then downgrade to my NES
Damn, I
collection.
still got that same bag, man.
Used to hide. Unfortunately, I have that.
Not them house shoes. Them house shoes was cheap as hell. Them shits ain't got no kind of padding on them.
They did.
I don't even think I probably wore them shits like that.
Same thing. Castlevania
I
3D
probably had went and got them shits at Dollar General thinking I was doing something.
original Super Mario Bros. With Duck Hunt. And PlayStation 2 games had one of the best fucking basketball games ever made. Rival 6. GoldenEye Rogue Agent. It was a game I liked 6 years ago, but I don't really care for it too much now. I don't really play it anymore like that.
What was 6 years ago at that time?
March Madness
2005.
2004. Vice City. NBA Live 08. One of the best fucking Maddens. Madden 04 with Vic on the cover. One of the best fucking games, period. Kingdom Hearts.
Here, man, you want to go live? Like, here, come. You entertain the crowd. Like, damn. Either you or the ghost to say it. One of y'all. Cause y'all making too much noise in here.
See that in the intro, it's not really the best fucking game, but I mean, I don't know, I might do a review
I'm about to
one
get
day,
it.
but it's not the best fucking game. It's not a bad game, it's not the best game. And the original Soul yeah.
I was alluding. I realized I brought up that Scarface because I was alluding to that game. I was alluding to the fact that I was going to do that review someday. I knew that it wasn't going to be anytime then. Damn it. I knew it wasn't going to be anytime then, obviously, because I was early, in my career. But I knew at some point I was going to review Scarface. That's why I was alluding to it like that. I knew I was going to end up reviewing it one day. I think I did it, 2 years later after this? Some time definitely had passed.
Eternal Champions, NBA Jam, the first one from 93, Streets of Rage 2,
Dang.
and another game. Like right here, I couldn't believe when I was like just going through shit one day and I saw it and I had found this game. This had to be the first time I seen this game in like 12 years. I was just real surprised when I saw it. It's not as fun as it used to be, but it's still fun.
Oh, that game was trash.
On the other hand, still is fun. Road Rash. One of the best fucking games. And of course, all the other games that you saw me review that's on this collection I got. Then go to my PlayStation 3 game.
And I was doing pretty good to be 19 years old, man.
5, which is right there.
I was doing pretty much the same shit I'm doing now.
Game right there, which fooled the shit out of me. Grand Theft Auto 4, which I really don't play too much.
Oh, man, that used to be my shit right there.
And NBA Live 10, which is right.
Y'all know what's crazy, man? I had an unreleased review of this game right here. But I cannot find that review. I think it's on one of those discs I was telling y'all about, the little mini disc. I believe I still have that shit somewhere on one of them discs, but I can't find it. But I did a review back then of this that I never put on YouTube. It's the only unreleased review I think that I have. And it was funny as hell because I went in on this game. But crazy enough, that ended up being the last NBA Live they released. I mean, I grew up playing that game. That ended up being the last one. So I actually got to give that game credit.
Really be good at time
Yeah, look at my Unsolved Mysteries collection. Can y'all believe that motherfucker worth over $1,000 now? This same collection, man. I still got this shit to this day. This shit is worth over 1,000. I mean, you would think my VHS tapes would be worth something by this point, but literally, like that Unsolved Mysteries collection to this day is worth more than anything damn near I own, except my vehicle, and I don't even own that yet.
Of course, all my systems, I had to put that on my own PlayStation 2, San Andreas. Then I have the original NES, PlayStation 3, Nintendo 64. You can probably see that, barely see it, but that's my Sega Genesis back there. Now, give you a glimpse of how my PlayStation 3 shit is looking. Control come on. Yeah, give you a glimpse of my PlayStation 3. Shit looking on here. Yeah, but
4/27 was April 27th.
I got these music for days from OJ the Juice fans.
It's crazy. All this stuff was around this same time.
To fucking Luda, to fucking Wiz, to fucking Kanye, to 3 6, to Rick Ross, to Snoop, shit, to the Tribe Called Quest, to Big L, to Oz, to Gucci, to everybody. I got all this music on here, man. I go for days with this music, man. And that's not even all the music that I got. Movies, Expendables, Takers, Grown Ups, Karate Kid 84, 2010, Escape from Alcatraz, Karate Kid 84, Just Right, Tester, an episode, Poetic Justice, I Took a Time Machine, Mortal Kombat. I got fooled by this because I thought it was a Mortal Kombat
Oh
movie.
yeah, I remember that little documentary. That was actually pretty good.
About, violent games and shit. It's not that bad if you're into that kind of stuff. Episodes of Family Guy, Jackie Chan Adventures, you probably don't remember, but this was my shit. Hey Arnold, a show called Urban Legends that used to come on Discovery Channel, and Most Shocking that comes on True TV.
Dang, it's so.
Games I have SOCOM 4, Mortal Kombat the demo, Resident Evil 3, Nemesis. I still can't beat that shit.
I still haven't beat it to this day.
NBA Unrivaled, Resident Evil 2. I have like 3 versions of this. Fighting Force, of course. Super Street Fighter 2. It's not also not really too much of a good game. It's hard as fuck. Like it's real aggravating. I beat it, but I mean I wasn't that satisfied with it. It's not as good as the original Street Fighter. Castlevania Symphony of the Night, one of the best fucking Castlevania games.
That game was pretty cool.
That game I never really got into like that. It's been arcade. You gotta have this.
I think Jimmy had told me about that game.
90s, you gotta have this game. Resident Evil Director's Cut, the original one, Mortal Kombat 2, Shank, a couple of more demos. There's Star Wars, Sonic 4, Castle Crashers.
Castle Crashers, that was my shit.
Another frustrating game. Matter of fact, this is probably one of the hardest games I ever played. Still don't know why I ain't reviewed it. I mean, I ain't reviewed it because, it's kind of a waste of time to me. Everybody knows that this shit's hard as fuck. I don't know. Fuck it. Yeah, but, shit. I got hella shoes.
I'm assuming I was about to review my Jordans and shit.
All day with my movies. I don't think I might have to do a separate video for that. As a matter of fact, that might be the next video I'm gonna do. I'm probably just gonna do a separate video, showing all the different movies and shit that I have. You know what I'm saying? So
That'll take forever.
that with y'all and stay tuned for the next video.
Dang. Yeah, that's crazy, man. It's crazy to look back on this stuff.
NFL quarterback club.
Let's do. I used to talk so fast. I remember in these reviews, like they were getting better, but I feel like I really didn't know what I was doing until like that second season. All these other episodes, I was just trying to figure it out. NBA Unrivaled, that was my shit too. Fighting Force, and I remember that shit. Maybe yeah, I know I could at least play Scorpion King. This is crazy. I can't even play some of my own videos without skipping through parts because of this copyright shit that's in it. But technically, I mean the whole video is copyright because I'm showing a video game that I didn't create. You know. I used to be kind of confused about that with these reviews. It's like technically, what's copyright if I'm showing a game that that ain't used. That boy James. Damn. Believe it or not, this room actually was bigger than my old room when I look at it. And that room was small as hell, I remember, when I really look back on it. That room may look big from the camera shots and stuff like that, but trust me, bro, that room was so small. Like literally, yeah, I like that scene when me and him were like had the fight scene. That scene was so hard to do with all that little stuff in the way, because it was so small and so little space in that room. I remember this. I just made that room look big as fuck with that camera shot though. I remember I broke that bowl when I first moved up here. I was so mad when I did that shit. I was sitting on my mom's porch and dropped that shit by accident. That bowl had lasted me for years too, man.
And let me tell you, this game is awesome. This game is electrifying. This game is kicking ass and taking names. Now he knows he's a lying son of a bitch and Stone Cold because this game is just fucking frustrating. I mean, it's a power piss that's so your mouth. It's just not even good. That shit commences about shitty. Can you name 4 shitty games based off of movies quicker than I can? I remember the last time I held this shit, I was playing Resident Evil 1. Remember how much more elaborate the graphics were compared to that PlayStation version? I mean, that shit was like a fucking cake, man. I'm only saying this shit because I really don't want to play the game. Fuck! Alright.
That PlayStation 3 look all fresh and new. Damn, I missed that thing. They really are, man. It's like
I remember the
it's funny. It's funny to look back on these videos because you could kind of see the time in the videos. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, when I look at when I look at the part when I had did the video talking about when I was showing like my last video in the house like I said, bro, like some of those products that you saw, like that speed stick deodorant, that all those money house blessing incense, like you can't even get that stuff on the market anymore. Like this, how long ago this shit was. You know what I mean? Like you can't even get some of these items anymore. Like shit don't even look like that. You know what I'm saying? But that was normal. But it's like just how stuff just changed so suddenly. You know, it's just crazy.
this company use titles to
But
take
these are
over
definitely throwbacks, man.
brands of animosity.
I can't believe these are throwbacks. They were supposed to be throwbacks when I was talking about these games. Now the reviews themselves are throwbacks. It's like, god damn.
Meets his journey in a town called Akkadian. The Rock looks like the developer got one of his sons as wrestlers and tried to use it as an archetype for design. He doesn't have any true facial features, and every animation of his body looks fake. The controls are decent throughout. A does his basic punch combo, while B does a punch and kick combo called a strong attack. The most annoying shit about attacking is not being able to combo while in motion. It's fucking ridiculous because he always does his drop bull attack as you try to get him to stand still. Fuck. It's a pain in the dick when a gang of enemies surround you too, because then the camera angles start to go haywire. Punching is bullshit too. In order to land in it, you have to face your enemy like a trained soldier. It's surprising to me how you can land an entire combo, but half of your punches and kicks will actually hit them. One attack I found to be disappointing is the ground punch. I swear it doesn't do any damage to the enemies. It's weaker than that combo Steve does on Street Fighter 2. Back to those camera angles though. Be prepared because you'll be constantly
Look
adjusting
at
them.
me trying to
Infuriating
add little
when you see how many
cut-ins and stuff to make my video
always feel
production
big
quality look
and
better. That's
intimidating,
funny.
like you're hauling 50 tons of cargo with a crane. For the most part, the story begins pretty fair. You start off fighting with your bare hands, but after gaining a little experience, you find a bronze sword in the treasure chest. One trick that sends you running like a chicken with his ass cut off is this one. There were 17 guards I just defeated, but the game indicates that more enemies still remain. Like where? Because when I walk around, I don't see a damn person.
Oh,
So the
I
camera
need to
angles
minimize
show
that. That
big boys
quality
start
little
to move and
ass.
go, but guess what? The whole time you're supposed to knock down a ledge that causes more guards to appear on screen. How fucking obvious. The ledge doesn't even have any
Damn, this
sentinels.
shit is
It's
dark.
unbreakable, so why the hell would I just randomly charge into it? As you continue to do more BS, that's when you realize how tough this game really is. It's like, fuck, some parts have insane amounts of enemies. It's extremely unfair how quickly they can gang up on you. They barely give you a chance to get your shit together, and their swords damn sure don't help the issue. Once you get used to the palace, it's confusing trying to figure out where to go. Every door looks the same, so you don't even know what door you just left. If not, then you'll end up having to repeat this challenge over and over again, whether you want to or not. After a fuckload of guards, you stumble into a room where these concubines await your arrival. Why were they waiting for me? That King Kiva guy must have some really low libido. Anyway, they tell you he's a super hero,
My
and
jokes
so
were
you
getting
have to
better. They
fight
were
him.
starting to get
It's an awful lot of work,
more
especially when you have
educated.
eternal champions. They never stop attacking, and I can't stand this shit. That ground punch and special attack is pedestrian in this one. So I hope your thumbs are in shape because you're gonna be tapping the fuck with the S and Y button. Speaking of those, why did they decide to use X and
These
Y
reviews
instead
were
of A and B?
classics, man.
That makes no
I
sense.
picked the perfect games to review, man.
You reach the king's room. You get a cutscene showing you that he's died from some weird mummy disease. As you investigate, Anubis, the cat version, arrests snipes and beaters. He's not that difficult. At first, you'll think you can attack him like other enemies, but you're really supposed to wait for him to make concrete crash to the ground, pick it up, and then stun him with it. When he's out, you just follow the pattern and go sweeping the fuck out of his legs and then his landfill.
Oh yeah.
After that, the underworld guy Magus transports you to the dungeons where you meet this old man who convinces you to help him escape. And here, your enemies consist of guards, these Olaf-looking things, and then snakes. The snakes can go to hell with the boulders strapped on their tails because they're fucking annoying. In other words, fuck them. Again, the only way you can attack is either with the ground punch or the low swing, just like those damn dogs. What was really a bitch is that they
Ugh.
poison you. If
I don't know if y'all could see it, but when I made this joke, I was trying to mimic the belt as the snake. But my stupid ass didn't have the camera positioned properly so y'all could see the belt and realize that that was the joke. Like I was, saying that the belt was like the snake. But it's hard to see it though. Like and then it was so fast how I did it. Like and that was something else I got from AVGN. Y'all remember that episode in I think it was the Freddy's Nightmares review when he was like, spiders, fuck them. He was slapping like the little rubber spiders and he was like, snakes, fuck them. And he was, slapping and beating the snakes. I was kind of, mimicking that. But that was just a little cut in basically for that. I got that from AVGN. So shout out to him. Like I said, I ain't going to discredit nobody. So I give him his credit on that. I got that same idea from him from that Freddy's Nightmares review. But I mean, I guess since you could say I'm a semi-retired video game reviewer now, I mean, I could kind of sit back and I guess like look back on some of my old content and, like I said, and criticize and judge it and give my commentary on it. But in the midst of doing this, I'm gonna give my commentary on other people's reviews as well. That may have reviewed the same games I did. But yeah, it was a decent joke, but bad camera position. And by the way, too, this TV right here is legendary. Whenever Everyday Struggle jokes, and he made a joke in the stream that I made him watch White Man Can't Jump on a TV that was the size of a Game Boy. This was that TV right there. It's literally the size of a goddamn Game Boy, but it's one of those old school VHS slash like mini TVs that motherfuckers had in their kitchen and stuff, and in their garage when they were watching football and shit. Like this is what like back in the 90s. Like these are the kind of TVs they had, and I think we got this from an older white lady that my mom knew that was moving to California because she had finished school, and I remember we had got it from her, I believe. But this TV was so hard to see, and I think it literally just shitted out on me and just stopped working. So I literally just had it sitting there for that point in time until I got rid of it. But yeah, that's an old school TV though. But let's continue on.
Once you pass all of these enemies, the next boss is the serpent. He's not too bad. One thing you have to watch out for is bites though, because they can poison you, but you can get an antidote after every attack. You have to wait until he tries to bite you, and then you can counterattack. And from there, just pray that this works every time. After about 7 hits,
Ooh, perfect.
good boss, I'll admit. But it was fair enough that if you lost, you wouldn't be too mad about his cheap hits. When you win, you have to travel back to your village and find that your training master, King Ermin, has been hurt. You fight hordes and enemies from all levels throughout the game, so many parts can be frustrating. Survive, warrior shoes.
Huh. Oh, damn it. My bad, y'all. It's the second time that shit happened on this stream. This little chair always do that. I remember she was hard as fuck. This what I remember was when the game was getting interesting. Fuck is that noise?
slash cats move fast as hell, so you have to be alert on every step. One part that threw me off were these jumps. At first, I thought I could just hit the first gong and then be into the door. But when I tried that, the
Oh
damn
yeah,
thing
y'all
started
gonna have
moving
some
faster than
shit
normal.
once this emulator
And
get
then
right.
the fucking
Y'all
goal
gonna have
started
some fun
spinning.
watching me do this part. This part was annoying as fuck.
Nope. What the hell am I supposed to do?
Ooh.
After minutes of fucking around, I noticed that when the first timer started, more gongs were available to be hit. But who the hell knew to hit every gong before the first timer went off in the same order?
Right.
If you do this correctly, then the door becomes unlocked. Just a side note, I like when the doors open when Michael Myers smile. At least it doesn't sound like Kentaro doing stretches. The design for this stage just gets fucking weird.
This was
The
pretty
doors
cool.
open like a pair of hands, and these jumping cats fly at you like a bat who just saw a fat neck chew.
Those
I like
cats
how
were
these
annoying. I remember that. And
space
then these
monsters are
platforms.
fast,
Oh
but when
yeah.
you
And
jump,
then because they timed you, I
you got
remember
some
this.
sweet ass time climbing.
God, I remember
Like,
this.
just jump, motherfucker. The pattern for these reappearing ones is the worst. Once you think you got it, it'll descend and take you along with it. He climbs up it too like he's a 5-year-old taking gymnastics. These jumping mechanics are arguably the worst in the 21st century. Remember the slipperiness from Cage Master? How about the Cap Attack? I'll just say it like this: the jumping on here is the equivalence of that.
Hmm.
Once you gain access to the door, you fight the Sphinx. This guy's probably the most annoying boss I've ever fought against. He summons those cats to attack you, and you're supposed to look at whatever the icon is on top of him so that you can punch the same icon on the ground just to attack. Once this
Oh
triggers, a
yeah.
giant sandstorm randomly knocks you back.
You had to go through all that shit. Oh yeah. They just did
This
whatever
part
they
freaks
could to
me
make it
out
annoying.
because once he gets his health low, magical electricity starts forming on the ground, and you can barely even stand up without getting hit.
Damn.
I'm like, fuck. The best solution is to run as fast as you can through the fireballs. Like, just ignore how fast they go and only focus on making it to him. And once you get there, you better beat the fuck out of him, or else the new king is Shang Tsung, because it's your only
Oh
chance.
yeah. I remember this, man.
Once he's done, you go through more underground labyrinths where you fight more snakes and encounter more platforming. The most annoying platforming in here is this one. After going through this shit 3 times, the last thing you want to do is fuck up on the last planet, especially since
Man,
it's
I
just
gave
you.
y'all a hell of a treat in this review, man. You know how hard this was to do with no cheat codes and trying to do it legit. Like this shit was really difficult, man. When I look back on it.
After that, you finally meet a
Oh
boss
yeah,
battle
and this
that's
bastard.
called an apex. Some half-dragon snake thing who wraps himself around columns and shoots fireballs at you.
Right, because you had to learn that special
It's
attack. I remember this.
see that all he does is just wraps himself around the columns and
Yeah,
hits
this
you with
game
his
was pretty
lightning
dope.
bolts. He's really not that bad because you just knock down the columns and then beat the shit out of him with whatever weapon you got. After he's defeated, you sneak into the Garden of
Yeah.
Madness. While going through this level, you fight enemies from all levels throughout the game, including the Minotaur 3 times. At least it isn't like Purple Raiders Operation Nighthawk where you fight previous bosses from previous stages.
Yeah, I gave
Now,
y'all a really special treat with this review, man. I really did. This was a good
in the
one.
end, you find out that Magus was really that old man you met in the prison and freed, and you have to save Rama and Jessa, Magmathias' brothers, from the coma that Magus put them in. To say the least,
I never beat
Magus is
him.
one of the most frustrating bosses in
But
Yu-Gi-Oh!
then again, I felt like I had already made the review by this point. So I said, man, I'm gonna just kind of just kill it. But I wish I had to beat him. Cause in the end, it was like another form of him that was pretty difficult too.
His health. But he, on the other hand, can kill you in 7 hits with his sword. You put at such a
His
disadvantage
staff.
that you have to repeat this for at least 45 minutes. And this is only his first form. After putting up with him for an hour, why the hell does he have to have 2 forms? For his second form, you have to ground push these platforms into a
I
giant
wish I could have
hole
showed y'all that
and
shit, bro.
blast them out without being attacked. From there, you'll just have to swipe at
I
enemies
couldn't
until
beat
you
him
kill
though.
all of them. The ending is shit too. There's nothing worse than going through all this shit, all this frustration to see a shitty ending. All that happens is the tower collapses, and Jessa, Rollins, and Matthias stand there.
Yeah,
What a
man.
fucking waste.
Wow. You come to my room, kill my people, make me play shitty game. That scene, for the record, y'all, as shitty as it is, was hard as fuck to film, bro. I had to move all my shit, as y'all see right there. It was like my fucking dirty clothes and my laptop box and like my book bag and like fucking chemistry and goddamn literature books and shit. I had to move all that in addition to that old school ass TV. I had to move all that shit out the way for us to film this scene, and we barely had enough room. I remember this scene. I remember seeing like it took forever, but it was me and my boy James. And that Saturday, I told him, I said, because if I can remember right, I had already recorded all the footage and stuff I had needed, as far as like on the game. And I remember because I had, when I got to that final boss, I tried to beat him twice. I remember for 2 days because I really wanted to show y'all the end, but I just couldn't beat him. And I said, man, I'm gonna have to end it here. And that Saturday, we finally had time to do it because I think it was just me and him there that day. And I had just read up, and I said, all right, man, I'm gonna goddamn, you know what I'm saying, make sure we good and hot, and we gonna go ahead and do this. And man, we smoked probably like 3 bowls of it. Yeah, we had probably smoked like fucking 3 bowls. I remember, to make sure that that this scene got done properly. Because I remember I said, dude, we got to do this scene because this is gonna make the review. The reason I chose him for the review, because the silent joke in the whole thing between everybody in that apartment was that, just, you know, he was really quiet. And James wasn't an antisocial guy. I mean he was, but not really. Like once you kind of, you know, got to be around him, and he kind of got to, you know, feel who you are, and he'll open up to you then. Like you know, he wasn't nobody that was antisocial, but he just was somebody that was really, you know, quiet and just to himself and all. And I remember like this guy used to be so high that he literally would look like a stone mock. I remember, like, and he used to have this laugh that that everyday struggle. If he were in the chat, he probably, you know, is off now. If he were in the chat, he would joke about, but he used to have this laugh where it literally was like this low vibrational like grumble that sounded like it could like crack, you know, like it was almost like a sound barrier. It could crack a sound barrier. Like you could hear that shit and it could crack like every stone in the Grand Canyon. Like that's how low and monotone his laugh used to sound, I remember. But it was hilarious. And but that would be like the only thing that he would do would be like laugh and joke. But he barely used to talk, I remember. And he was quiet as hell and didn't say anything. And like I said, we had been knowing this man for months, and he never said shit. Matter of fact, I remember the girl, what do we gonna call her? Laura. I remember the girl Laura that me and Everyday Struggle had joked about, that I had told you about, Alex, in one of the streams. I remember she thought that he was a narc when him and our other roommate Jay had first moved in. Like she thought that he was a narc. I remember, and because he just was quiet and just to himself, but it was just funny and all. And I just thought that was a little inside joke that I had to throw in there for everybody that lived in our apartment, you know, as far as him. But it ended up going global, and goddamn, it made a good internet video, and I'm just glad I ended up doing this. It gave him some internet fame. But this scene was so hard to film, man. We had like motherfucking one, you know, yard or square foot to film in. And this one, I remember with this one, I don't know if you could see it, but I basically had the camera and I was laying down in position where the door was, where you saw him laying down. I had the camera basically positioned up, and I told him what I'm gonna do is you just hold the knife. I mean, you hold the sword and you push it, you know, like you pushing it down, and you know what I'm saying, and you concentrate on doing it. We had to redo that because he was doing it in a way where it just didn't make sense. I'm like, no, you got to put some effort into it. Like you got to look like you trying to impale the knife, you know, in my stomach. Like you got to look like, you know, like you doing it, but you got to do it from a perspective as if like the camera, you know, sees you doing it. But you know, like I remember we kept trying to explain that. I said, okay, we're gonna do that. Then he had to do it. I remember the first time he did it, it was so weak and so monotone. I said, no, James, you can't do it like that. Like you gotta, you know what I'm saying, you gotta look like you trying to stab my ass, bro. Like, you know, I just remember being so fucking high that day, And like I said, and just so amped up and animated because I knew this review was going. I knew it was going to do well, and I just remember being so high and so animated and trying to describe this to him, and him being just so low and monotone. And like I said, I had to make it look like he was like animated and amplified like I was that night. It's just like I said, it's just funny looking back on this because behind the scenes, yeah, we were doing that, man, and I just remember, like I said, he was learning how to do things on camera. I want to say this was the first time that he had ever been on camera. I think him and Jay had did reviews prior to this, but they didn't do anything on camera. This was his first one on camera. And like I said, it's a different animal when you got to be the one entertaining in front of a camera, because this shit ended up being in front of thousands of people. I mean, what, 13,000 views? How many views this shit got? 13K 13 years ago. 13K 13 years ago. Hell nah. And 113 likes. You might as well say that. Lucky number 13. That's crazy. But I remember we were doing this scene. I was laying on the dirt, the ground. I told him, I said, you gotta do it like that, and make it, put some emphasis in it, put some effort into it, And then we switched over. And then I did it. And then I remember with this one, I said, what we gonna do? Because I remember he fucked my eyes up with this. If you could tell, like, my shirt was getting red, I said, what we gonna do is now I'm gonna basically have the camera where you have it, and you hold it from that same angle and that same position on the ground at a low point where it's positioned up. And then, like I said, then I had made a little makeshift ketchup bottle. And what my dumbass didn't know is all I had to do was get some like ketchup. I mean some Kool-Aid food coloring, like some black cherry Kool-Aid food coloring, and just mix that shit with some water. My dumbass made it with some ketchup, hot sauce, and a whole bunch of other shit that I did not need to mix it with, and it was totally unnecessary. And he sprayed all that shit in my eyes, and I remember I was fucked up when I did that. When I literally, all I had to do was just get some fake blood, or get some like I said, either get some red dye number 40 or some dark dye from like a Hobby Lobby or some shit like that. I could have did anything, but I did not have to do the stupid shit I did. But again, when you smoking weed and you trying to get shit done, you do stupid shit sometimes. So I remember he was squirting that fucking bottle on me, and I remember that shit was burning my eyes. And I remember at the end I was like, all right, cut. All right, where's my bowl? Where's my bowl? That one little scene was dope, man. I'm not gonna lie. But if it were done today, I would have did that way smoother. Way smoother. I'm like, I didn't have to fuck myself up like that. You could kind of see it. That stuff was all thick and all that. And the camera was so grainy, you could barely even see it,
It's just not a good game. It's like saying you prefer Will Ferrell in an action movie over Sylvester Stallone. I mean, some power.
You probably would.
That shit again.
Hell no. Then I'm alluding to the Scarface. The reason I did that, because Scarface was supposed to come out like a month later, but I had got caught up with so much shit that summer. What was that? The summer of 2013. I got caught up with so much shit trying to like just figure out what I was gonna do. Where things was going in my life, and what the next steps and next plan was, that I never got around to making it until that fall. But yeah, I remember Scarface was supposed to come out literally right after Scorpion Kings. It was like Scorpion King came out that April. Scarface was supposed to be like the one that was supposed to come out that summer. It was supposed to be like by like June or some shit like that. But yeah, I just never did it for whatever reason. I just got caught up doing other stuff. But it's so dope. These are some dope reviews, man. Dope reviews. We're gonna do one more. And then I'm going to get back on probably sometime later in the week. And we're going to hopefully be able to try the game again if the damn emulator works. If not, then Like I said, I'll be more than happy to do more commentaries on this and then other content I know that I wanted to show y'all. But doing my own at least first is interesting enough. Let's see what I was talking about here.
Alright, this is Chase Northland, the guy who plays the character, the frustrated game reviewer. And I know it's been a while since I've been on here, but recently I've just been thinking, how do all these people in here that make random stupid videos, including these not funny game reviewers, become famous on here? Seriously, not to call anybody out or anything, but it's a lot
Not to call anybody out, but really calling you out.
that these internet groupies dick ride. I mean, these people be sending these famous celebrities messages.
Y'all know what's funny is when I made this shit, like let me be careful with this thing before I fall again. I had scripted this, but it's like, if I could just do this naturally today, because here it is, what, 14 years later or whatever. Damn. Yeah, it's like if I could redo like what's going on YouTube, we all know what's going on this goddamn site. And I'm thinking like I was saying all this before monetization, so but then again, people still were making a lot of money on here. I mean, it was people that were millionaires before monetization. They really don't speak on that too much, but it had me think about people like Fred and remember Annoying Orange and y'all remember those early YouTubers who had this shit moving. Like you don't even know who these people are now, and that shit had been going on for years on this goddamn site, but I think at this point, this is when I was really like starting to get fed up because I was thinking like, damn, wait a minute, yeah, I had already made, yeah, I already made some pretty good reviews by this point. Oh, this was before Scorpion King. Yeah, so leading up to this point, I was making some pretty decent reviews. I may have just been frustrated I wasn't getting no subscribers, so I was like, man, this shit is some bullshit. Oh yeah, man, filming Scorpion King honestly was funny, but if I had to say the best one that I remember filming, like I don't know, man. That's a good question. Like, what would be the best review that I have filmed that I remember? We had. I just remember the ones me, Jimmy, and Chris had did. Those were pretty fun in the beginning, but I feel like I wish we could have did more because I was still experimenting with them. I mean, we were still trying to figure things out along the way. But yeah, like we did Scorpion King. Like, yeah, I was already seasoned by that point, so yeah, Scorpion King turned out really well. Like, when I look back on it, I'm really proud of that one. And I was just watching it. It's like it's something about that game. It just has a real nostalgic feeling to it. So yeah, I really feel like yeah, I was proud of that one. And then eventually we'll look at Death Trap Dungeon later on. But Death Trap Dungeon was also one of my favorites because it was, I don't know, that game was pretty damn dope. Like from the beginning to the end.
It's their ego trying to be cool with them, not even knowing why they're doing so. They comment on their videos, their channels, and everything to get some kind of attention from them, not even realizing that these people are just as lost as they are. And I'm not judging anybody on here, like, because personally I don't give a shit, about YouTube or them. But these people gain so much notoriety. I barely see any of these reviewers on here put any creativity in their work to truly appeal to anybody. And these fuckers have gotten so lazy that all they do is write a bullshit 3 to 5 page script complaining about the
It's
video
funny.
and
At
then
least they wrote scripts back then. Now they just using AI.
review. That's not creative. I mean, by the end of your recording, if you don't feel exhausted, then you did do a game review. These people are just lacking creativity and originality in their videos and their reviews. Hell, I already know that my reviews are cheaply produced on a $60 software with a cheap handycam. But shit, at least I try to add my own style and perspective to reviewing games that you rarely see in videos on here. Let me give you an example of what I'm talking about when I say I'm at least trying to be creative with my reviews. Remember my game review Eternal Champions that I did 2 years ago? Remember how the story was that my character goes to Jackass Jimmy to try to train to defeat a ghost that haunts my conscience to play the game? I tried to beat the ghost by beating the game, but I still failed, right?
Oh, I see where I'm going. I'm
It's
basically
basically
saying,
telling a story that
I'm basically saying, Well, y'all, you remember how I used to explain to y'all like how when you see these reviewers, they would just have a basic, information, standardized, Wikipedia like um perspective of the game, and then that's the only thing that you would really see about it, and then that's it. Like it ain't no kind of pizzazz to it. It ain't like they trying to do nothing to entertain or nothing. Like and they ain't showing up on camera. And again, everybody don't really have to use that style, but at the same time, I think that's where I was going with it. I was just getting tired of seeing a bunch of reviews like that. I'm like, it ain't have to be the AVGN style, but at least switch it up. Don't just come with this monotone dull stuff. Like I was just seeing too much of that, and then the ones that were trying to be entertaining, it just wasn't entertaining. It wasn't funny. So I think that's what I was also getting fed up with. But these dudes would be surpassing me. Like I said, I'm still sitting at 643 subs. Like these dudes was already at like 2,000, 3,000 subs, and I'm like, but I still had videos that had more views than me. As y'all saw, they Scorpion King had 13,000 views. I mean, that's like my second highest. So, you know what I'm saying? Like I'm like, damn, like some of my videos get more views than these people, but how the hell they get more subs and more notoriety? Maybe they were doing a bunch of subs for subs, and see, I never really did that throughout my career. I mean, whoever I really watched, that's who I sub to. But other than that, if I ain't really watched them like that, I ain't really stay subbed, or if I was subbed, I wasn't really paying attention. I mean, because you get recommended a million videos, but you only gonna choose one or two to watch, within like a 4 minute, 5 minute span. So, you know, I think that's where I was going with this.
Reviewer had against review besides the mainstream ones that had something that was similar to that? It's not many you can name, isn't it? And I know comedy isn't everybody's style, but shit, if some people are considering you funny, then what do you have to show for it? That's how you know YouTubers are just an illusion. I mean, people are getting on here every fucking day to escape their pathetic, wrestling lives to make videos that have nothing to do with their events, and they probably are fucked in the head for randomness.
Hell no,
I mean, you people are the kind of people
I
that
couldn't
create
say that
unoriginal
today.
sets just to make yourselves seem cool. Because mentally, that's what I'm being told. I mean, these people are so disgraceful in their real lives that the only way they can escape and get away from themselves is to get on the internet just to feel better. I mean, all of their friends are caught up in this cyber society and shit, and none of them have any real life experiences to truly see what humor is. So they think this stupid shit that they see on the internet is considered funny. Even these game reviewers take their characters too far because they live within these people on the internet to make themselves feel self-centered.
That
These
is
kind of people
true.
don't care about creating amazing work for others to enjoy. They only care about the self-gratification that they only get for themselves on the internet because they hate themselves in reality to even confront this shit in real
Oh
life.
man, I hate to
I mean,
say
the
that, but
ones who
that's
sell
true
those
for a lot of them.
high-maintenance websites more confusing than a woman choosing something to wear. I mean, whatever. I mean, this is my perspective on here, and this shit has just been blowing my mind for years now because I don't get it. I've really been trying to figure this shit out because I'm pretty sure everybody knows, who's in this position. I mean, it's obvious to the underrated on here that we aren't going to become famous YouTubers like many of us have hoped and strived to become or whatever. I mean,
Damn, I was
all
saying
we
that
do
back in
is just run up to
2012.
the microphone the loudest and make the funniest sounds the loudest is usually the candidate for the top YouTuber. If you somehow get lucky, you get
It
popular
used to
enough with
be, not
500,000
anymore.
subscribers or so and be considered funny. And the ones who sell themselves out to get a partnership, I've noticed, are always the ones who started funny in their careers, but as time was going on, they just got lame as fuck. And they only started to appeal to the dumb audience, and instead of being a real person about the shit, they built on that stupidity that they started for that fake audience to make themselves seem funny. But little do they know, any real nigga who understands humor doesn't buy into that shit. Yeah, these are the people y'all consider the elite and funny, in other words. In this point with internet video game reviewing, the art of getting information about games, and it's just getting dumber by the day. I mean, it's too busy with people trying to be like the next person. Nobody seems to, be able to legitimately create their own original content that can be influenced from another person's work, but still adhere to their character that everybody respects. This shit all boils down to the idea of why people aren't even on here making videos in the first place. Because I don't understand this concept. If you're
It's
gonna
for
get money
money.
from the viewer of your videos you just made, then why the fuck make them?
Oh no, yeah, I didn't get that. I mean, that's me speaking as a 21-year-old, 22-year-old at that time. How old was I? I was 20 actually. Yeah, like no, like I said, I didn't understand what you because y'all got to remember too. At this time, I'm not gonna lie, Alex, I was ahead of my time. I was. But I'm just kind of looking back, on what I was saying in that video there, like as far as what's going on YouTube. Because I can honestly say, I mean, I kind of spoke with a little bit more disdain. You know what I mean? And of course, the reason I felt that way, because obviously, at the current point in time, then things weren't really going exactly the way I wanted to go in my life. I didn't have the kind of financial resources I really wanted. I really wanted at that time. So I was taking a lot of that frustration out really on the creators on YouTube that I felt like were they eating like fuck it shit. These motherfuckers, like I said at that time, I'm eating damn carrots and Bisquick, you know what I'm saying, and frying potatoes, 5 days a week, and getting, LeBron James chicken from that damn Ellis Meat Market on Saturdays, and that was a hell of a weekend right there. You know what I'm saying? To go get them damn $10 bag of leg quarters they used to sell. It was at a meat market we used to go to, and them motherfuckers they would have like 20 damn bad things of leg quarters in there for $10 at that time. I mean, I don't know how it is now because it's been a damn meat inflation. But at that time, that was a hell of a deal. And man, but them damn quarter legs used to be so big. Like them motherfuckers look like a fucking boomerang that you could, sling at a kangaroo or something. Them things were huge. But they fed the motherfuckers throughout college. And had it not been for them, I probably would have been a starving African by the time I graduated. But man, I was surviving off of them damn things and Bisquick and carrots and stuff like that, and point two grams of damn mid that meat we was stretching out. And I'm thinking like shit, I'm tired of living like this. I wasn't even smoking weed at this time, but I was getting ready to, and I'm thinking like shit, I'm getting tired of this bullshit here. Like man, shit, like these motherfuckers on YouTube right now, they getting a check every month for making these videos, and I know these motherfuckers have been taken from me, or at least have taken a snippet or an idea of something from me, because they got to be able to do that to even stay relevant. Otherwise, you're gonna just burn out and make the same thing over and over and never stay relevant. And then the YouTube checks are gonna dwindle down, and it may start out for a couple of thousand, then it may go down to a little bit of 100, and next thing you know, it may be little to nothing, and you can't survive off of that. So out of a 12-month cycle, you can't pay no bills and and rent and you know what I'm saying, and get no pussy off of that. Like you ain't gonna be able to do that. You got to go get a job at some point. And shit, I knew that subconsciously then, but I was also on the forefront thinking, man, this shit need to damn pay out. Like, fuck, I was already doing it for 2 years, 2 years at this point, and you know what I'm saying, I had even less subscribers than what I got now. So I was starting to feel like, man, hell no, like this shit need to pay off now. You know what I'm saying, I've been doing pretty good at that. That was before I started noticing people were really taking from my content. So I was very bitter at that time. I'm not even gonna lie. When was this made? In 2000 and yeah, this was slightly before Scorpion King. So yeah, this was in 2012. This was the spring of 2012. I was about to be 21 that year. Yeah, that was a real dark, bitter year. I remember it was real bitter. Like you know what I'm saying, like I was coming into reality of like, damn. Like I remember I had to pay for college out of pocket that year for summer school. Um, Yeah, I remember, like I said, I couldn't get a job. Like it was real, bitter. But then once I started smoking weed, everything had lightened up. I remember, and I just stopped giving a fuck. And that's when the reviews had got better. That's when it's funny. It went for that. It seemed like that when I made that video, y'all just saw the what's going on YouTube. That was at that threshold when I was like bitter to where I just stopped all outright giving a fuck. Cause as you seen, like it was I made that what's going on YouTube. I actually made that video before I had made the Thunderstrike Operation Phoenix, or maybe I did or didn't. I can't remember 100%. But it seemed like right when I made Rebel Raiders, that was the point when I just stopped caring. I mean, y'all can see in the videos, I was smoking in the videos and all that. That was basically my sign of just showing like my transition into a new person, really. You know what I mean? And it was showing on camera. I mean, y'all were seeing the change in me, honestly. And I just stopped giving a fuck. I remember, not like in a sense where I'm like, oh, I'm just not gonna care. I'm just gonna smoke and be this J and this hippie. Like, nah, like When I say I didn't care, I just more so wasn't gonna care about this structure and this standard of how I had to do things, and then have all these false expectations of what I thought things were gonna be like, and I had to try to present myself a certain way in order for it to happen, and then it not end up happening. And me, basically avoiding myself of any type of disappointment. That's when I just stopped caring. Once I started smoking that weed, honestly allowed me to just kind of release all that, and not have that grip on me as much. And that really has helped me all the way to this day. So not to say that I'm encouraging anybody to do that, because it's not really good to smoke anything, whether it's, weed or cigarettes or fucking Xanax pills. It don't matter what you smoking. It's not really good to do any of that. But I'm not gonna lie, like, just depending on me, y'all have heard my life stories, y'all have seen, the stuff I had to live through and the stuff I had to go through. I mean, shit, that shit was like, it was like a medicine. You know what I'm saying? It was no different than taking some chamomile tea, or you know what I'm saying, or taking some ashwagandha pills or something. I mean, that shit was like, what had helped me. And when I really look back on it, it's like, when I made that video there, that was the threshold point, showing like from when I kind of cared, because I kind of had that sense of caring about how things had to be in my life, because again, I had got fired from McDonald's. So I'm trying to, be, uphold a certain standard when it come to trying to get a job. And I was in college at the time, so trying to uphold a standard with that, and then upholding the standard with trying to make sure I'm paying bills on time and doing all that. But yeah, it was like right when that threshold came, when y'all saw these videos, that's when I started smoking. And not to say all that went out the window, it was like all that was maintained, but the concern for it, that shit had dwindled down. And damn, it's like the reviews had got better. They really did. So we gonna continue this on. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, we did, we got this, we did, man. We all got screwed over with this YouTube shit, man. They did. Like I said, man. It made me bitter at that time. I'm gonna be 100% honest, y'all. I was bitter as hell about that shit, man, because I'm thinking like, damn, like I had put out some dope ass reviews by that point. I mean, like the Quarterback Club and the Sonic series, when I did that December. That was one of my, some good, some of my favorite reviews, the Unsolved Mystery shit. And then also when they had struck my video for copyright. And I mean, I understand, but goddamn, it's like they had literally removed the video. You know what I mean? So I was seeing that was going on. I was dealing with copyright issues on YouTube, and I'm dealing with seeing all this shit, and then I'm seeing these other channels doing the same thing, the same shit I'm doing, but they getting monetized. I'm like, what the fuck, like. And I know my shit goddamn, saying better than what they doing. I mean, again, I'm not sitting here trying to make a comparison, but at the same time I am, because like I said, I'm subtly seeing what's going on. I'm like, hold on, like this shit ain't funny. You know what I mean? Like, I'm like, are there human beings that's actually judging these videos? Cause the shit that these boys be doing, this shit don't be funny. Like I said, I didn't have not one smirk, you know what I'm saying, not one cough. The whole video, yeah, I learned about the game, or I learned about whatever it is that I've been informed about. But the point of coming on this website is to be entertained, and this shit ain't entertaining. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not going to the comedy goddamn channel. I'm not turning to Comedy Central to not laugh. You know what I'm saying? Just like you coming to YouTube to not be informed and not be entertained. Like, you're trying to get a little bit of all that. You know what I'm saying? If you could damn near see anything you want to watch on YouTube, then I would assume the main three pillars of what you want to have on this website, if you watching something, is to be informed, number one. Number two, to be somewhat like, entertained by how they present the information. And if you could add a sense of humor to that, then you got that person. You know what I mean? And that's what I always had stuck with my videos. And I just thought the way that I did it, especially with the video game review and shit, because that was right up my alley. I mean, I always had that idea as a kid. I just thought my shit was just better than what I had seen a lot of people doing. But these videos, like I said, these videos they were doing were getting more notoriety, we're getting more views. I'm looking at their channel, I'm like, damn, they get more subscribers. So I'm not hating, but at the same time, I'm thinking like, well, something got to be going on here, because I'm like, damn, like I don't know how this shit is being judged. Got nothing. I understand, bro. I mean, just think about it. All these videos we just saw, like these shit should have way more views. Scarface, that shit barely got what 11,000 views or whatever. Like that shit should have 100,000 views. I was one of the first people that reviewed it. I was the first person that reviewed Scorpion King. I mean, I'm not gonna lie though, I don't complain too much about that. That video did really well. I remember when I put it out, like I said, when me and James were working on it, I knew when I was playing that game, I just kind of had sense when I was playing it. Like, this game makes a very good video. It's going to make a very good frustrated game review episode. When I did that and when I did Death Trap Dungeon, I just kind of knew those two in particular were going to make good episodes. So, we did that. And I just remember throughout the process of working on that video, it was really fun playing the game. Like how y'all see, we gonna see like later on in the live stream once it get right. It was actually fun playing the game, and what I'm saying. And I just remember at the time that was the first time I had ever played it. I had heard about it back in the day, but I had never played it. But again, like when I saw it, I just knew it was gonna make a good video. And then I remember by the time when me and James had filmed that part y'all saw that Saturday when me and him, filmed that night for the last little scene, I just knew like, yeah, this is gonna be a good video. And then I remember when we did it, I can't even remember shortly after we filmed that how soon it was when I uploaded it. But I do remember as soon as I uploaded it, I remember my roommate Jay was like, "Oh shit, bro! Like your video's starting to get some views." And usually when I put my shit out, that shit was only gonna get like maybe 100 views, maybe 200 views within like a month or two or something like that. Like, I mean, my shit was like had very, very, very slow traction. Like, we talking like fucking molecule, like cellular like speed on like how fast this shit was goddamn generating views. Like, we talking at a very, very molecular cellular like level on how slow this shit was developing. And nigga wasn't getting no views on them videos in the beginning. Like, but I remember when I put out this one, Jay was like, oh shit, brother, your shit starting to get some views. Randomly, it was people commenting on that shit. Randomly, people were liking it. I'm like, huh? I was kind of shocked that it was like what it was doing. But by the end of like the first 2 days, that shit already had like 600 views. And most videos I put out, they had only got like 600 views after like months. You know what I mean? But this shit had 600 views after like a few days. And then it had like a slow period, I remember, after I had put it out that year. It was still sitting at about like 600 to about 800 views. And then, I don't know, over the years, it just seemed like that more and more people just started going back and watching it. And next thing you know, it ended up, getting thousands more views. So I guess I appreciate everybody for watching it and keeping it going. But I always thought like, damn, like why the hell the other videos didn't get like that? Because I made videos way better than Scorpion King. Like, especially when I had moved back up here from Statesboro, I made videos way better than that. Shit, like they should have been getting the same amount of views. But I don't know. Like I said, I don't know how this internet shit really worked at the end of the day. But I tried, and we still gonna continue to try. So guess I'm gonna go ahead and end it here. And again, like we'll be able to join. Hopefully, I'll be able to be able to try to get that emulator to work better. I don't really know what's going on with the frame rate. I mean, I adjusted the resolution and whatever. I ran a scan. I'm not really sure. I do know I had a little bit of an issue with this when I played Resident Evil 4, but it wasn't really as consistent as it's been. So I'm not sure what's going on. Hopefully I can run a scan on this computer again, and then it'll be right. But what's today? I'll try to get on Friday if anything. Definitely try to get on this weekend. Like I said, if I'm not gonna be playing the game, I can at least do commentaries. And I do know that what I need to do eventually is get this DVD of that movie I showed y'all and then extract that onto my computer so that we can watch that and then stream it. Cause yeah, I know I won't have any DVD code restrictions on that, so we should be able to do it. But yeah, y'all stay tuned, man. I appreciate everybody for joining in. Like I said, we give y'all more of my life story and behind the scenes stuff of other videos, and you definitely have to continue this thing on and y'all stay tuned.